Good afternoon. Today is February 9th, 2022. It's about 43 degrees Fahrenheit here in Layton, Utah. I'm attempting my first live stream outside of the Cleveland area. And I'm just going to be walking around the city of Layton, Utah. Hopefully the connection's strong enough. The few places I've tested has been decent on the connection speed. Right now we're at Greyhawk Park, at the very edge of it, overlooking the mountains. Now the not so glorious part to show about this park, it's not in the park, but if I go to my left side here, that is actually the dump for Davis County. So I don't actually smell any unpleasant smells or anything like that. I thought maybe I would, but you can see some trucks depositing stuff. But we're not trying to focus on that. That just happens to be, they have it in kind of an isolated area away from the homes and such. But now I'll start walking toward the recreational areas of Greyhawk Park. This part that I started at is a little loop trail, so if you're riding your bike or wanting to do a jog around, you can do it on this miniature trail. Now, of course, the grass isn't going to be the greenest as you would hope because it's winter time. But if you're here in the spring, summer, fall, you'll see nice, luscious green. Connection permitting, I hope this will be a relatively long walk. One thing about Layton, Utah is things are very spaced out. And another thing about Layton, it's not a tourist area, so to speak. I hope to make some live videos in downtown Salt Lake City and Ogden, Utah as well. I've done pre-recorded videos that are on my channel from last summer in those areas, and there's a lot of touristy things that you can look at or special attractions. But Layton very much is more of a, I guess you would call it a residential city, in my opinion. Although you are close to the mountains, and I would have loved to have done a live walk that actually walks into the mountains, but I'm pretty sure the live stream connection would not support that. So I might do a pre-recorded video featuring a mountain walk at some point. I always love this perspective here because you have a nice basketball court with the mountains in the background. And then just beyond that, there's 2 pickleball courts and I think 2 tennis courts as well. And then your general playground area. Let me turn around to show where I came from. So now I will start walking outside of Greyhawk Park to go on some of the residential streets, give anyone watching a perspective of what the houses look like in this area. I was trying to map out ahead of time where I would walk. I knew I wanted to start here because I always liked the scenic look of the basketball court and the park with the mountains close in the background. And there's a few residential areas I wanted to walk through, but after that I was thinking maybe I could go down some of the main streets and show, you know, general like department stores or Targets and fast food places. But I also don't know how interesting that would be. Something interesting to me right now is I didn't know this trail existed right here. So it looks like there's a bike trail there. I'm not sure how far it goes. Probably not too far because I'm at least a little familiar with the area. And I know this isn't where the main trail is. That's quite a ways away. You can get a little more look at the dump over there. Well, they don't call it the dump on Google Maps. I think it's the Davis County landfill. Many of the houses in this area, I think, are relatively new. I would venture to guess in the past decade or so, or even shorter than that. If you go on Google Maps and try to backtrack, you'll see that a lot of this area was just nothing but open field. This is Red Tail Way that we're walking on right now. Temperatures here have been pretty steady around the 40-degree mark for the past 4 days or so that I've been here. And not too bad. Just dress lightly, and then right now I don't have to have my winter cap on. Let's see if I can flip the camera here. Yeah, just have baseball cap, which is much better. I wasn't sure if I was going to go with a double jacket or not, but there was when I stepped outside, I was like, yeah, I better do that. If I was riding a bike, I would have just done one jacket. Around here. It seems like the street names have bird affiliations. Like this is Falcon Way. As we're walking on Red Tail Way still. What's that sign say there? Sledding Company, Hot Cocoa, Winter Wonderland, Frosty's Cafe, and Snowflake Love, maybe? I'm not sure what the last word said. Back in either late December or early January, I did a snow walk video for my channel, and it was during the daytime. It wasn't exactly on this side that I'm walking right now, but up ahead there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a main road with cars driving on it. I was on the opposite side of that, and I filmed about I don't remember if it was a half-hour video or like a 45-minute video, just walking and exploring the snow. And I had also gone down to Hobbs Reservoir in, I think it's called Kays Creek. And right now I got a message that says transmission is unstable due to a weak connection. That's my biggest fear doing these streams, and the connection might be so strong in certain areas, but then you hit a random spot where the connection fades and possibly even ends the stream. If the stream ends today, I'll have to juggle in my mind whether I want to start up a second stream or just give in and not try it any further. That's the thing about a residential area. If you're in like a downtown portion, you expect there to be high upload speeds with the 5G connections, but who knows in an area like this. Hopefully we stay steady though. I don't know if the sound comes through on the video, but hearing the birds chirping is a nice little calming part of the walk. You can see there is still some snow on the ground, like over there, for example. It hasn't snowed since I've been here, so that snow has stayed there. Must have been something from the previous week, but I think a lot of the times when the sunshine is hitting, it's melting the snow on the right sides of streets, but not the left sides. See what I'm talking about? All the houses on the left side have that snow, nothing on the right side. I mean, you would think the casting of the shadows that, I don't know. I guess the backyards for these houses probably have a little bit of snow built up. So if the stream keeps on going about 20 minutes maybe from where I'm at now, there's a street called Church Street. I think if that's the right street I'm thinking of, there's several houses there that have been recently built, and I think they're worth, if you look at Zillow for example, anywhere between like $1 million to $2 million. So we'll try to take a peek at those. I dropped my touch pen for a second there. Let me try to straighten the feed. Yeah, we'll take a look at those houses and see how they compare to these ones. Let me cross over. I see I have 2 viewers right now. So welcome from wherever you are. I am walking in Layton, Utah. Just showing the city in general. And hopefully we get a broad perspective. I started the stream at Greyhawk Park, which showed the nice mountain backdrop. Now I'm walking through some townhome areas. And then eventually we'll wrap around to some more main streets. Or it'll show the places to shop in Layton, Utah. We will get a few more glimpses of the mountains in the background. This is nice, they have steps here. Let me try going down here. I potentially could be doing live streams tomorrow and Friday earlier in the day in either Ogden, Utah or Salt Lake City downtown area. I wasn't able to start today's stream until about a little bit after noon, so that's why I didn't want to venture on out of this area. But tomorrow and Friday, if I'm able to start earlier, there will be some more touristy things to see, so to speak. But in the meantime, this can still be a nice calming walk as I again continue to try to test how the live stream connection works on my new T-Mobile plan. I did 2 or 3, I think it was 3 live streams in the, or 2 live streams in the downtown Cleveland area. Then I did a live stream at the Hopkins Airport and then a quick live stream at the Denver Airport. The 2 live streams in downtown Cleveland was only using my 5G cellular connection. So that was encouraging when those worked well. When I did the stream at Hopkins Airport, the upload speed for my potential live stream when I was testing it ahead of time wasn't too strong, but then I connected the Hopkins Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi connection was super strong. So I did that stream on Wi-Fi. And then the Denver Airport, I think I did that one just on my phone connection. can see quite a few cars going back and forth. I know there was an elementary school further on left, and then over here I think there's either a dentist office or tanner clinic. Yeah, there's Woodland Park Dental over there. Physical therapy place. Now I'm going to try to find a spot where I can cross the street. This is a big intersection, and I can see up ahead there's a big "Do Not Cross" sign. See, there's a nice shot of the mountains again. I know I was walking away from them before, but so, you know, I didn't think about this ahead of time on where the crosswalk is for getting across this big road. Or when we'll get the signal to be able to walk across. I assume SR is for State Road 193, right? Intersecting with 1700 East. There we go, now we got the walk sign. Safety first, yes. So originally I was hoping to cut down one of these two side streets on the left, but looks like the next spot to cross is all the way up there at the traffic light, so we'll just go on up there. Just past the light up there is a Walmart grocery store. So not the actual big department store, but it's exclusively a grocery store for Walmart. I think they call it Walmart Neighborhood Market. And then there's also like a Little Caesars, Beans and Brew, A few other food places, Wendy's, Dairy Queen. Not sure what this is over here. Looks like Layton Medical. I believe back in a month ago, there was a lot of kids using this hill here as a place to sled down when there was a lot of snow covering the ground. We're almost there at the light. I wonder if you can see the mountains if I face it toward myself while walking. Let's see here, front camera. Oh, there, see? Is that a better view to look at, right? Mountains. Give some better scenic backdrop as we're walking backward here. Back around. Let's see if this car in the curb lane pulls over. Nope, they stayed there. But they're not quite in the curb lane. Here's the Little Caesars. Actually, this Little Caesars and Beans and Brew area is very new. I mean, the plaza in general is not, but this Little Caesars just opened like 4 or 5 months ago. I don't think the Beans and Brew was here before that, but I'd have to check that. I shouldn't have walked by a pizza place. I can just smell the ovens cooking up the pizzas. And it's right at the lunchtime hour too. There's the Walmart neighborhood market. Interesting, that house over there says handyman service, help wanted. It's a good advertisement if they're doing a little independent contracting, I guess. Here is a Layton, I guess it's a fire department location. The fire danger today is low, level 1. That's great, right? Hopefully it doesn't get to higher levels. So this is station number 2. When I did my snow walk video a month ago, I did walk through some of those streets. But it wasn't as easy to see the mountains that day because the general, I don't know if you called it a snow squall, whatever, made the visibility lessened. So you couldn't quite see the mountains as much as I would have liked for that video. Looks like this neighborhood is called Windham Highlands. That's kind of cool. I think this is part of the park still, Sandridge Park. There's a little mini bridge going over there. This is Sandridge Park. So we started off at Greyhawk Park. Another park with largely just an open field. But they do have a basketball court a little bit further down. And it's a bigger trail compared to Greyhawk Park. You could walk all the way around that trail. So if you wanted to get walking, jogging, bicycling in. Again, not a trail per se, just big perimeter around the park that has a smooth surface for riding. There's also some gazebos over there. It may be a little hazy, but way in the background back there you can see more mountains. So the mountains aren't just on the left, they kind of encircle the whole area down there and to the left. It's just that right now we're closer to the mountains on the left side here. Getting a bit hotter right now. Figured that would happen once you walk a little bit. That body heat builds up. Might end up taking my gloves off. Let's cross over here in a second. Oh. Car let me go by. Oh, so I forgot to mention, we are on Church Street now. As you see another shot of those pretty mountains. Yeah, let me put my gloves away now. I gotta do something to cool down a tad. Plus the temperature might be getting up to about 45 degrees. So every degree tick and lessening of the wind is going to make it feel hotter. I'm not going to walk too far down this area, but I just wanted to show the nice view of the mountains. The entrance to get into that Case Creek Park would be about, if we kept going further on down that way. I stepped into Case Creek the other day just to test the upload speed, and right outside of Case Creek the upload speed was still decent. But as soon as I stepped in there, it was very low on the upload speed test. So I was like, darn it, I guess I can't do a live stream in here, which makes sense. I mean, their cellular connection is not going to be as strong where people are not living. It's just a park. But this is what I was talking about earlier on Church Street, how there's all these new houses, because this used to be, and you can kind of see this on Google Maps if you go back throughout the years, just a big empty patch of grass waiting to be developed. Well, now it is developed. And if you're going based on Zillow, the first couple of houses here are listed around like 800,000 to $1 million. You can see the sidewalks aren't completely finished. And then toward the very end, that's where you've got the two houses that are listed as $2 million. And this house is still being developed. Let me also show the other side of the street for comparison. You can see you've got, if I want to call them normal houses, but just got the various degrees of difference from the left side to the right side. It seems like the backyards would be very much sloping downward back there. The front yards are large. My guess is they probably felt, let's put the house as far back as possible where it's still relatively flat ground, as opposed to putting the houses right up against the street and then having a big backyard that ends up sloping downward. Yes, so I think on Zillow, this house here might be valued at over $1 million, and then these last two, you can see they're still doing the yard here, so this one might be relatively new, and all of them are. I think all of them are within the past 2 to 3 years. But these last two here are the ones that are worth like $2.2 million each, and I guess I can see why compared to the other ones. Bigger, and you've got like a underpass to go into the garage. Probably have a, what do you call that? Almost like a mini courtyard in there too. They have a fence protecting cars from entering the area. They don't have the whole area gated like the front yard, so I mean, someone could still walk past, but I guess that prevents vehicles from coming up and doing something. That's like a turnaround driveway with even like a mini parking lot. What's this? The Rush Funplex. And looks like we're going to run out of sidewalk over here. So let's go ahead and cross the street, or get ready to. I just noticed up there the street signs with a little Layton City logo on them. See how the fence back there is angled downward once you get to the back? So I can't imagine it would be easy to further develop on this land, but I'm sure they can work wonders. There's so much construction of new housing going on, and whether it be Layton or other cities. Even when I was in Ogden doing my video last summer, there was an area where a whole bunch of townhomes were being put up, and the demand for these areas is so high that the places are getting snapped up right away. During the warmer months, a lot of times I would ride a bicycle to the Layton front runner station. And when I would do that, I would ride down Church Street, so this path that I'm walking on right now, and all the way back by kind of where Sandridge Park was. I would start by riding all the way down, and it would be nice on this part because this is all downhill, so getting to the train station isn't much of an issue. Going at a decent pace, it would take about 18 minutes to ride on a bike there. But when you're trying to go back, it is quite hellacious. I mean, it may not look steep there, but the entire route back is like a slow incline upward. I've ridden the route fully. I ride it to the train station all the time, but I've only ridden all the way back once. And believe me, my legs felt like they were going to give out. There was one point on just a few blocks behind me where I finally had to stop and just walk it to regather myself. Don't see any animals out right now, but one thing you'll notice if you're going through various areas in Layton or other cities in Utah is that quite a bit of property owners who have miniature farms with either cows, horses, goats, sure there's some other animals that I'm not thinking of right now. I'm kind of surprised that these ones aren't out now. Alright, so this is the decision time. Which way to go? Normally, if I was riding my bike to get to the train station, I would continue on the semicircle and just go down Church Street. But I'm really not trying to go to the train station per se, or at least not a direct route to it. Get another shot of the mountains there. So I think I'm going to take Antelope Drive. That's a big hill down and then all the way back up over there. If you took Antelope Drive toward the mountains. But yeah, let's go ahead and walk Antelope Drive. I don't know how long my phone battery will last too. Can I check it without ending my stream accidentally? Let's see here. Oh. So that's not too bad. I've been filming for 49 minutes and my phone is still at 78%. So yes, this is Antelope Drive. It's kind of a main road. You can see the speed limit is 40 miles per hour. There's a tiny street sign, Bafco Road. I didn't even know that was an official road. Although it does say no trespassing private property. This is what I mean by things being spaced out. If you had a car, you know, you would have zipped to here and also up well up ahead to where the Target store is and the shopping complex. You would have been there probably 5 to 10 minutes, but you know, especially going 40 miles per hour. But on walking, I've been walking for 50 minutes already. while they're not quite dedicated lanes, they just, oh, when I say dedicated, I mean there's no curb protection. They do have painted bicycle lanes here. Oh, what's this? Oh, they're not farm animals, but there's a dog. Neighboring dogs, in fact. The white one is got a deep growl. Woo. Woo. I like the various decorations people have in their yard sometimes. That's why I like pointing. I'm gonna try to turn the camera. So you can see I undid the jacket, and that and having my gloves free allowed me to cool down, so I'm not hot anymore. It's like right now it's like the perfect temperature. You know how maybe it's not for everyone, but when it's let me flip it back first. When it's like 60 degrees with a slight breeze blowing, or 65 degrees and a slight breeze, that's like the perfect weather to go on a walk or a bike ride. But right now, it kind of, with the way I'm dressed, it kind of does give that vibe of the weather today. That's why I like these two particular jackets that I'm on. They're very warm if you bundle them up, but they're also lightweight, so that they don't add too much weight when you're walking to tire you out. And if you unzip them, you can usually get a nice cooling effect. So far so good on the connection. I know I had that one transmission unstable sign about 10 minutes into the stream, but I haven't encountered it since. This is Fairfield. It's nice that the past two intersections, the light has gone fairly quickly. You can see it's changing again. A lot of times you have to wait like a whole minute for a light. That one's sped up a bit. Look at the nice little sunflower welcome message. That's welcoming. And the birdhouse in the tree. I like the stone effect on that house too. Got the firewood in the back. I assume, well, this one, I don't know if it's vacant or not, because the boards in that little house, well, I'm not calling that a house, but I assume that was a stable of some kind. Looks like it not being used, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully I get to see, oh, see? You can't, are you gonna be able to, if I zoom in? There's a horse. There's a horse back there, right? Yeah. See, I wanted to prove that I wasn't a liar. Alright, now I'm trying to zoom back out. Okay. Hopefully I get to encounter some animals on the road that I'm on right now. Oh, so yeah, this property probably is vacant because it says myutahagents.com. There's a big electrical grid. One of the great things that I won't get to show probably in the stream today was last summer, just past the Layton station, there's a really long trail. I think it's called the Jordan River Parkway. And we rode bikes from Layton all the way to downtown Salt Lake City. And that's roughly 30 miles. But the trail itself goes in either direction way further. And I've taken different portions of the trail at different points in time. But that's nice how if you can get to that trail, like say for example if you have a vehicle and a trailer to put the bikes on the back of it, if you can go to one of those points and then, or maybe not one of those points, but like go to, for example, the Layton train station, park there, then unload your bikes. Because that way, let's say you do a really long ride either direction, if you get to a front runner train station, you know, after having driven, for example, 30 miles, instead of having to drive all the way back on the same trail, you can just hop on the train and then be driven back to the train station. And speaking of Utah, the Utah train system right now, for the whole month of February, all of their service is 100% free. It doesn't matter if you're taking the buses, the Trax line, or the front runner train. You just board, no questions asked. And they even have signs like taped over the normal payment system saying that the train is free or the bus is free for the month of February. I read an article online that said they're just trying to promote, probably it's a combination of things, promoting reducing carbon emissions by using public transportation, and I think it's also I think it's the 20-year anniversary. I might be wrong on the dates, but I think it's the 20-year anniversary of the Olympics having been in. What kind of animal was here? Someone must have took their horses on a walk. I think it's the 20-year anniversary of the Winter Olympics being held in Salt Lake City. That was also mentioned as a tie-in to the promotion. Right now the Olympics are taking place. I saw Shaun White with a snowboarding performance yesterday. He fell on his first run, but his second run stuck all of his landings, so he was able to qualify for the next round where he'll get 3 attempts. I'm not sure if that has happened yet already. It's always nice to see the U.S. athletes, especially in their final Olympics, hopefully persevere, or at least have a showing that they can be proud of, you know, for all the hard work they put in, as do all those Olympic athletes. And we just cracked the 1 hour mark, so I think that's my first 1 hour live stream. Going back to the front runner and UTA transit for Utah, it is really nice to take advantage of. Is that tiny pumpkins over there? Yeah, there's a couple tiny pumpkins on the ground. I think. I know they kind of blend in. They probably didn't show up on the stream. There's also, in some of the cities, a free trolley that's free anytime. But for example, when I'm near the Target area, the shopping area, the free train that goes from Layton City to Clearfield City runs through there. You can see the crops are all scorched over right now, or dried out. I've seen these big irrigation systems in the past before. It's pretty cool. They all shoot out water into the air pretty far, and I assume because they're on a wheel trajectory and they can be rolled in some way to different parts to spread the water. I wonder if that guy was beeping toward me. Maybe he recognized that I was filming. Speaking of transportation again, the public transportation, the airport train station in Salt Lake City, they had been doing construction on it for most of last year. They ended up finishing it earlier than expected. It's called the Tracks Green Line. So now you can once again, instead of having to take a shuttle Parkway, you can take the main Green Line from the airport, and it zips you all the way. Well, it goes further than this, but it takes you to at least downtown Salt Lake City. So if you're doing a conference there, for example, or staying in downtown, it's simple to get from the airport to there, and more affordable than taking a Lyft or an Uber. You probably spend $30 if you did that. But that one-way admission, when it's not the free month of February, I want to say it's probably, I don't know, like $3 or something. And quite frankly, it gets you there just as quickly as a car would. You'd probably be from the airport to downtown in 15 to 20 minutes. I know Layton isn't a very well-known place, probably, out in the grand scheme of things around the country. So I didn't expect there to be a lot of live viewers. But it's been nice that I've occasionally been seeing 1, 2, or 3 people pop up in the stream to check it out, even for a bit. Now granted, if you tune in and you just see me walking like this, I understand why someone would be like, if they were a first timer, why they would tune out right away, because it looks like I'm walking and nothing. But again, that's kind of the perspective I'm trying to give about things being spaced out. You could see where I started at the Greyhawk Park and the houses that were there, the perspective of the mountains, different homes. And yes, you do have this, hey little doggies. You have this long stretch of the street that doesn't look scenic at all. But when I get to the shopping area, it'll be like another transformation, like, oh, all of a sudden we're in like a big shopping area where you may not have expected that. Oh, they still got some Christmas decorations up here. It looks pretty cute. I like the wood-like trees that were supporting the front porch. So even though my old phone has a bad screen, one advantage I get to do now is I charged it and kept it. It's still good enough to use Google Maps, so now I can, probably hard to see on there, yeah, too dark on the screen because of the light, but I can use Google Maps to find my bearings. So based on this, I am 1, 2, 3, about 4 blocks away from where all the shopping areas begin. The reason I was able to get service on that phone was that I wasn't actually connecting to any cellular service or Wi-Fi, but Google Maps allows you to download an offline version of the maps. So before my walk today, I downloaded the whole Layton area. Wouldn't be surprised if in a couple years from now this whole space here was developed into a couple of houses. You can see back there is all a bunch of bigger houses with multiple levels. I don't know if those are houses or like duplexes with multiple tenants. Got a couple horses back there. Too bad we couldn't get any up close shots along the street. So in case you're wondering, can you still see the mountains from where you're at? Yep. That's why it's kind of unfortunate that I'm not walking, well now I'm walking backwards temporarily. Unfortunate that I'm walking away from the mountains, because if I was walking toward them, even in the dead zone, that would give a much more look at. So maybe I'll flip the camera around. So you can't focus on the mountains though, right? It's too focused on me that it's not focusing on the mountains in the background. Let's see here, what else can I talk about to kill a little bit of time? Maybe these random tires that are here. There's like 6 of them. Wonder what those are for. We're getting there though. Let me flip it. Nope. So if anyone tries to follow along at some point on Google Maps, we're at 50 West. Intersecting with Antelope Drive. This street here is how you can get to those houses I was showing back there. And it kind of weaves to a lot more houses in that area. So now we're starting to transform a bit. Instead of being, as I was calling it, like farmland, now you're back to a bunch of residential areas. I swear, I saw the shadow of my gimbal and phone on the fence, and out of the corner of my eye, my first instinct was I thought it was like a huge dragonfly. I almost jumped right there. Antelope Village. So there looks like to be another townhome area. See the plane up there, right? I was trying to find it at first. There's an Air Force base. Got another one. Keep on coming. I should have kept the camera there. So back where I started the video, if you remember where I was talking about the kids that sometimes would sled down that hill, if I would not have crossed toward the Walmart neighborhood market and I just would have kept going straight on that street, the State Road street, I think it was State Road 163 or something like that, if I would have kept walking straight that way, the Air Force base would have been a little bit ways down, but it would have been on the right side. So that's a big presence here in Layton as well. I know on Google Maps sometimes I look and I think like, oh look, there's a Domino's Pizza in this area, and then I look closer and I'm like, nope. I mean, there is one, but it's private for all the people that are on the base. So I don't think that's the free trolley up there. There must be a bus that goes through Layton, Utah as well, but I'm not familiar with what route it takes and where it goes. I should get a little more familiar with the bus routes. I was half tempted to think like, oh, maybe I could hop on the free trolley later and use that to get to the train station. and see if I can live stream that as well. But I know the free trolley only comes every 30 minutes. And I don't have the ability to check the timetables right now. I should have downloaded that ahead of time. Alright, so it says WSU, that's probably Weber State University in Ogden. That's where that bus is going. And it says ride free today. You can see it's, I don't know if it shows up on the video. So the 640 bus, which is turning down Antelope Drive. Like I said, that's not the trolley, that's an actual bus. It's a much bigger intersection, so you're not going to get that quick 20-second changeover. Light just changed, but the cars will get the turn first. You got a double turn lane. Let's see how many squeezed through. All of them did. Oh, all right, there we go. When we got the changeover. Oh, so let me walk on down this way. Like I said, this is going to be the start of where start seeing a lot of food places and shops. Starbucks. I should tell my buddy, hey, the Starbucks was popular here in Layton. Maybe the stock price needs to go back up. Got Javier's Authentic Mexican Food. Seagull Book. I'm not sure what that is. There's a Crumble Cookies over there. If you're in the pastries, Crumble Cookies is a good spot to check out. They are in Utah, but as I discovered, they're in other states as well. They sell some delicious cookies, but also Neater's Bakery and Cafe is a great place for some morning breakfast and pastries. There's a Habit Burger and Grill right next to that. And then a Black Rifle Coffee Company. Not to beat a dead horse, but this is continues to be a great test and confidence booster for live stream reception. Because we're going on an hour and 20 minutes right now, and so far the stream has stayed alive. As far as I know, the quality should be pretty good. Battery life is doing good. And like I said, we're not in a super well-known city. I was going through some spots that you might think to yourself, oh, maybe the cell reception would be not so good in this deserted looking area, yet it's still trudging on. So those food places over there was kind of a small section of eateries, but once we get past Chick-fil-A, that's where you've got the large bulk of your stores. Chick-fil-A is busy no matter what time of day. They always have those servers outside too, taking your order. Meaning instead of them listening on the radio through the speaker inside, they have two workers on the double lanes of traffic taking your order outside, dressed for the weather. Then they input the order on kind of like an iPad or tablet device. Then you merge into one lane to pick up your food. Alright, so I didn't know they had a sign referencing this. I guess they call it Midtown. If you went to your left, you'd have the Davis Conference Center, the Layton Hills Mall, an aquarium, movie theaters, dining, and then shopping and dining on the right side. I haven't been to this place yet, but it's called the Base Restaurant and Sports Grill. It's a restaurant and bar combination. You know, even though I've seen the name before, I didn't make the connection before about the base referencing the Air Force Base along with the icon. It makes sense now, but just hadn't thought about that before. So you've got a Petco over there, Rumby Island Grill, and it looks like in this plaza there's also a Ross Dress for Less, Noodles and Company, David's Bridal, Cafe Zupa's, Dress Barn, and I think there's a GameStop there as well. And further on down there's other stores. I'm trying to debate where to cross, because I don't think there's a crosswalk for a while down there. So I'm going to cross over here and show both sides of the street if I can. So yeah, I was right. Even though this is the back side of the shops, you've got Cafe Zupa's, GameStop, and Noodles and Company. There's a Sonic, down there. I've never been to a Sonic either. America's Drive-In. I've seen it in TV shows or movies, of course. There's a T-Mobile store, Wingstop, Mod Pizza, Five Guys and Fries, and a Cafe Rio. On this side you've got Xfinity, Intermountain Hearing Centers, Supercuts, Tanning Oasis, Mongolian Grill, Papa Murphy's Pizza, and Jimmy John's. And then your essential store, right? Super Target. Who doesn't love not only a Target, but a Super Target? It reminds me of when they used to have the Kmarts and then they came up with the Super Ks. Target took the same approach with that. Let's see here. How should I weave in and out? I guess I'll cross over here. There's also a Popeyes. Something called Steels.com clothing outlet is in the background there. Moe's Southwest Grill, Verizon store, Carl's Jr. Super Target there is massive. When I look at Google Maps in the past, where Burlington is right now, there used to be a Toys R Us, but then of course Toys R Us went out of business. And then Burlington is relatively new. I want to say within the past year they moved in. Past Super Target, there's a Michael's. I know you can't see it on the stream here, but trust me, there is. Buy one, get one for $1. What is that, the bacon cheeseburger? I don't know what the normal price is though. Oh, so speaking of the free trolley that I was mentioning earlier, there's the trolley going the opposite way, meaning it'll be going toward the Clearfield station. So that one's coming from the Layton train station. For some reason it got a little windier over here. I don't know if this is like a wind tunnel. Here's Chili's. I see a sign for a Radio Shack back there, but I can't imagine Radio Shacks are still in business, right? That's probably an old sign. And then there's a Lowe's. So the 628 bus is the free shuttle. That one's always free for the trolley. And it looks like a trolley as opposed to a typical bus. I think trolleys often have that green or red look to it. Nothing beats the mountain backdrop to all these shots, right? Look at that shot. The mountains, the Air Force flying, and also you've got the, I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but there is a shot of the moon somewhere up here. Yeah, right there. You got the moon still showing up, even in the bright daytime. And then more Air Force planes taking off. I wonder if the sound effect of the planes whipping through the air is being captured on the stream or not. The same type of sound you would hear anytime there's an air show going and you hear the planes whooshing by. There's a Pizza Pie Cafe and Famous Footwear. Men's Warehouse. Wish there was a way for me to check that trolley thing, because I would be actually very tempted to jump on it. But I also don't want to wait at a stop for potentially like 20 minutes. So now we're closer to where Burlington was. And also Barnes and Noble on the corner here. Thinking about crossing the street just to see if there's any way I can look up stuff on the trolley schedule. This is like the tiniest seat I've ever seen for bus stops. Let's see here. Let me experiment with something here. I'm going to try putting this gimbal on a tripod. Where the heck is the place to screw it in? There it is. Sorry, I know it's going crooked here. Alright, so I've got the camera positioned on there. I know there's a paratransit thing coming, but that's not what I'm looking for. And I do have my face mask if I do catch a bus. So I'm putting that in my pocket. Let me check my old phone to see if by any chance I kept a downloaded schedule. I don't think I did though. Nope, no schedule on my old phone. And I don't think I can end the stream. And I don't think I can use my main phone to look it up without ending the stream. Let's see here. Decisions. I guess I'll at least take advantage of this and get a drink of water. Okay, so don't know when it's coming. Can't be too long, you would think. But I don't know if I want to keep standing around. I get the feeling that I'll start walking, and next thing I know, it'll blow right by me. There's a Golden Corral over there. And then an Applebee's on the left side. Don't have the best sense of my bearings right now because I know the mall for Layton, the Layton Hills Mall, is somewhere very close to here. I guess it wouldn't be on the right side because that's where like the highway is. But it's probably just beyond the left over there. Well, I guess the sign up here will help guide us anyway. Up ahead it says is the mall and the theaters. I'm surprised no one's coming either direction. There's a Red Robin, Red Fort Cuisine of India coming soon. Oh, there's this trolley coming behind me, I think. Let's see if I can jog in time for it. They're going both directions. Someone here says go Jazz. I might want to slide over to the right side. I think that'll give us a better shot of the mall. Even though the windows are a bit faded. Right there is an AMC movie theater. That one down there is the Cinemark movie theater. We got J.C. Penney there. Layton Hills Mall. Layton Hills Food Gallery. And then there's a Dillard's. There's supposed to be a popular aquarium thing that's located within the mall.
Layton Hills Mall. Please remember to count off when you exit the bus. Road and Main Street, Layton.
I know I'm not offering much commentary right now, but between the bus sound and wearing the mask, I'm not sure how clearly it would come through. So I'll talk again more once I get off. So I'm going to try to get off at the train station. Shifting over to the other side here. There's the main Walmart. Earlier we saw the Walmart neighborhood market. It's fun sliding back and forth, right? Was in order to the street we came from, you couldn't make a direct left turn. You had to make a U-turn that we just did in order to get onto this street here, which is I forget the street name, but we had to make a U-turn in order to get there. funny how when it's going in fast motion, it kind of makes the dirty windows disappear. And then when it slows down, it focuses more on it. We saw Lowe's earlier. There's a Home Depot here. Now remember earlier, when I very first started this stream, I said that riding a bicycle, if I had taken Church Street, it would have been about an 18 to 20 minute bike ride to get from where I started the stream to the train station. Now, just a walking distance, we're going on close to 2 hours. Now granted, I did venture off the path of where I would have bike ridden, but it just goes to show you how it's not quite a walkable city. You really need to use either a car, a bicycle, or public transportation. We are getting close to the train station. Yes, in fact, we are at the train station. So if you were taking the front runner train, you would walk over there and board, and then it goes two directions. If you're taking the front runner going that way, that would take you toward Farmington, Woods Cross, Salt Lake City, and further on south. If you wanted to take the train going the opposite way, that would go toward Clearfield and Ogden. Forget if there's another stop in between. This is Cafe Sabor. They used to be more decorated on the outside, but I don't know if they just reduced the decorations for the winter time or what. The only reason I'm walking here right now is I gotta show off this cute frog playing the instrument. I always thought this was fun. Look at that little guy. Ah, I heard the music. That's probably the first time I captured music. Watch, I'll get a YouTube copyright strike because of that. Hopefully it wasn't for too long though. I'm sort of winging it here on the stream. I didn't think I would actually get this far, but the impromptu trolley ride gave me that opportunity. So now the idea I have in my head is to actually walk to the bike path, that one that I rode 30 miles on back in the summertime. Not sure if the reception will be strong there. I think it will be, just because the initial part of the trail kind of cuts in between a lot of expensive looking houses. So I would think that the internet is still strong for those houses. But we'll see. And then maybe I can walk a little bit of that trail and then conclude the live stream from there. That was pleasantly surprising too, to not only get on the trolley, but that the stream did not disconnect whatsoever during it. Might have a front runner train coming right now. I mean, there's also an actual normal train that's to the left of the tracks, but if that is a train, then that one is coming from the Ogden area and going toward Salt Lake City. If anyone interested wants to go back and watch one of my summertime videos where I explored Farmington, Utah, that day I did the whole bike ride where I did that 18-minute ride to the front runner train station, but instead of taking the train from Layton to Farmington, I know that would have saved time, but I wanted to film a little bit along the route. So I took the bike over the bridge and went down this path that you're seeing right now. I know there is a bike lane in the street there as well. But when I see something like this, I think to myself, all right, I'm just gonna ride on the sidewalk. Earlier I was talking about non-stop development in Utah. This is another spot. And by the way, yes, that is the front runner train coming from Ogden, getting ready to stop at Layton. So that'll head toward Farmington and then further on south to Salt Lake City. But yes, this is all, again, new development. Now this one it doesn't look like they're putting up houses, because it says coming spring 2023 Tanner Clinic. And there's also an advertisement for commercial general contractors, I guess. So maybe there will be more opportunities. But yeah, another example of when I rode my bike here last summer. They were just starting to work on this, but it's far more along. I know there's not a structure that you see yet. But I'm not sure if they even had this fence up or not. I don't remember. You knew something was being developed, but at the time I wasn't sure what it was. I think I just assumed it was going to be more housing. The Intermountain Layton Hospital, so the main hospital in the city, is located over there. Earlier when I got on the trolley, someone had put, well, their username was called Personal Name, so I guess that's what I'll call them. Personal Name said Go Jazz. I haven't had the chance to go to a Jazz game yet. I've walked by the arena on the outside a lot of times, seeing the difference from when they used to have that little standing logo outside the arena. It used to be like yellow, green, and dark blue. Now it's an all black color. I've taken my share of selfies with that. But my home team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, have been doing remarkably well for much of the season, and believe it or not, they're only like one game out of first place in the Eastern Conference, which it's funny how it's kind of flipped this year. The Western Conference in the NBA, for many years, you had so many teams that seemed to outclass the East. And yes, you still have several top-tier teams there, the Jazz among them. But now when you get to the full 1 through 8 or 1 through 7, the Eastern Conference seems to have taken a bit of the lead. Whether or not that matters in the ultimate NBA championship, we shall see. What is this up here? The whole ground looks wet. Not only is the ground wet, but we've got a truck pulling up. Let me pause here for a second, because I don't know what's going on here. Alright, maybe I can I'll quickly run by. Wonder if that guy's going to the bicycle trail. I'd say I'm about 5 minutes away from the bicycle trail right now from a walking distance. If I was on a bike, maybe a minute or two. He's going a different direction though. We're coming up on Flint Street, which intersects with Layton Parkway. It is 2:35 p.m. right now, Mountain Time. Let's see which one goes first. This one here. I know there's a lot of live streamers in New York City. I wonder if anyone has ever done an extensive live stream or walk in the Utah area. When I was doing them, a couple of them in Cleveland, It seemed to be a niche that no one had targeted there yet and gained some traction. Granted, I know New York City is a much different beast in terms of population and popularity. People from all across the world are craving and dying to see all they can of New York City. If you go on any one of those New York City streamers, like the most popular guy, he may have like 3,000 viewers live on any stream he does, and then the other ones can still get 500, 1,000. And there's a handful of them that I try to watch. Action Kid is the guy I watch the most from New York City. Then after him, probably someone named Walk Ride Fly. Does some nice live streams. There's another person that my brother's got me into lately. I think it's called Walks on Wall Street, which is kind of unique because the guy works on Wall Street during the day, and then in the evening he just walks around New York City. He talks a little bit about the market, but then besides that, it's just kind of like that ASMR feel where you're just enjoying the scenery. And the dialogue. This has been a beautiful day though so far in Layton. I'm glad there's not a foot of snow on the ground. And this live stream overall, this isn't something I expect someone to want to watch all 2 hours or so of it. Again, it's a combination of me experimenting with the live stream of this length in a residential city, a connection test, but then also anyone who does check it out, the great thing about it is they can skim and still get a decent perspective. Like, you don't need to watch me walking a half hour down the one point in the road. You can just skip forward until you see maybe some of the shopping areas or other places of interest. Alright, here is where in the past couple times I started going on the bike trail. This isn't the main part of the trail, but it's a very nice cut through. I guess you would call it a trailhead, meaning it veers off from the trail. You can see the creek is actually running through here. I still hear those Air Force planes in the background. I don't know if you could see the plane that was going there. Where we're at right now, they're probably circling back toward the base, actually. There it is again. Have some mallards swimming in the trail or the creek. there's a basketball court over there in someone's backyard, or at least what do you call it? Half court. This is probably my favorite part of the live stream right now because there's such a level of peace and tranquility. You can see there's a bench here if you need to sit down too. But peace and tranquility to just walking, even with the trees not being green like they were in the spring, summer, or fall. It just feels like you're immersed in nature. Over there you've got another basketball court. This is an interesting one. They have a trampoline in the ground and a basketball hoop position there. There's a fire pit and chairs here. So I wonder, this seems like something that someone in the area set up, because this isn't in someone's backyard. There's like a fence here. Unless it is part of this house's backyard on the left. But you could go there and just enjoy it. Like the little bicycle decoration hanging up there. This is where the main part of the trail would be. Got some background on Kay's Creek. Well, actually, so they're calling it the Denver Rio Grande Western Railway. I think it's called, I thought it was the Jordan River Trail. Let me see, it says we're here. Alright, maybe this part that we're on now is the Denver Rio Grande Western Railway. But eventually this trail, if you go towards Salt Lake City, is going to become the Jordan River Trail. I don't know, can it show where we came from? Well, we took the trolley for a good part of this, but this is where we started. Greyhawk Park, in fact, they have it on the map there. I don't know if it's focused or not. Yeah, there it's focused. Greyhawk Park, we started up there, and then walked down by Sandridge Park, came down this street, walked down Antelope Drive. We cut down somewhere around here. Caught the trolley around here, and then the trolley took us over here, and then now we're here on the trail. But so you could see we covered, for this 2-hour and 17-minute live stream so far, we covered this thin area. I mean, I think we covered a good part of it, but like what I'm trying to say is there's all this residential area. and all this mountain area in Layton that we did not touch. And of course, there's, more residential areas here. Yeah, overall we did get a good perspective of it. Looks like the trail is open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So interesting, it's saying that the Hobbs Reservoir flows through here. Sorry, I know the screen's getting a little blurry there, so let me stop pointing it toward there. I think anytime I put my finger up to the thing, it focuses on my finger and distorts the background. And then this is the main bicycle trail. Again, if you go back to some of my summertime videos, you'll see some parts of me riding it. God, but I love some of these backyards. These are the houses. I have not looked these up on Zillow, but I imagine they're quite pricey. I mean, you can see that one right there. There's a mini putt-putt course. In the background there, that's a pickleball course in pickleball court in someone's backyard. This one's got a basketball court. I mean, beyond that, just seeing how big the houses are. And this would take me a while to walk, and I have covered that already. So let me pull out my other phone real quick to try to check Google Maps. I'm considering walking part of the trail but going the other direction. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try that. So again, I've been this way on a bike trail before, but I've never gone this direction at all. So I'll walk a tiny bit of the trail. You can see more of the creek flowing through. And it looks like there's another small trailhead, like the one we came from earlier, that goes that direction. But yeah, I'll walk the path going toward Clearfield a little bit, just to see. My curiosity wonders how it compares if there's houses on both sides, like there are in Layton. Now, I will mention that the houses and trees being on both sides is kind of short-lived. It's like that in Layton, but once you get past Layton and toward Farmington, you kind of are just riding on a trail in the middle of empty farm fields on both sides. So it becomes less scenic, but it's still, if your mission is to ride on flat ground, and that's one of the things I liked about this trail, even though it's very long, there's almost no hills on it. It's a very smooth, flat trail, so if your mission is just to get strict riding in without exerting yourself too much, I think it's perfect for that. It was fun when I rode the trail too, because you would see various other bikers, some that would be dressed in normal clothes like me, some that would be dressed to the max in the full biking gear. Saw a few people that would have the sit-down biking, where you like sit down and be pedaling with your legs in the air. You'd also see a good amount of dog walkers, or joggers. Let's see, the cars are stopping, but I don't have a walk sign. There we go. So that's actually where I kind of came from. I cut through that one trailhead that went that way. But that hospital system should be back over that way. So on the left side, you've got fences that protect people's yards. Look at it, full swing set and almost like a jungle gym system. Right side isn't quite as protected. Some houses do have a fence further on down. One of these days I was interested in riding from where I just was at the start of the trail in Layton, and then riding actually all the way this way out toward Ogden. But the thing is, I believe the trail does kind of end before you get to Ogden, and then you have to carefully plan out on Google Maps which streets to take safely to then connect to the next trail, because there is another trail, but there's no direct connection from one trail to the next. You do have to take some streets before you get there. Oh my God. I did not expect to see that. I thought those were statues at first. Look at them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or 7 of them. What's the right term? Roosters or hens? Just all. I wonder why they're all like cuddled up next to each other. And then there's the one there by itself, and then a few more further on down. That's interesting too. They have like a little walkway that they can go into this extra area. That's one of the things too I enjoy, I think is cool about these houses. A lot of them have gates that go out, so if they just want to go straight from their house to the trail, they have their own mini entrance and exit. And it's not just like one house that has that. You can see a lot of the houses have that gate there. You know, I'd say a good, at least half the houses seem to have some way to get there. Here's another basketball court. That one's more of just a pole in the thing. But there are houses that I've seen before where there's a slab of pavement specifically off to the side for basketball. Probably like this one over here. Because you can see the house is way over there. Then they have the fencing. But then there's the basketball goal right there. And can't quite tell, but I assume there's a... It's too tall for me to see. Maybe I caught it on the camera. I assume there's dedicated pavement for that. I'm trying to point it toward this way because you've got the mountains mixed in between the houses. As we're approaching 2.5 hour mark on this live stream. I haven't flipped it around. Still have the jackets open, still feeling comfortable with the weather. Have to guess it's probably 45 degrees right now. Yeah, this trail is very nice. I'm trying to straighten it. One thing that's I don't know if I would call it frustrating, but I notice anytime I do this view, I feel like my old phone would show focus on both me and the background, but it seems like this one focuses on me and blurs the background. I don't know if there's a setting I can do to change that or not, but I'll have to figure that out. Oh, now I have to focus it on the front. So right at the 2.5 hour mark, in 3, 2, 1, right there. That's when my right arm finally got a little bit tired of carrying the gimbal and phone. So I just switched it over to my left hand. Got one viewer that's been sticking with me for a while. I'm not sure if that's someone I know or someone just popping in. Okay, so it appears that once we got to this point, still houses a little bit on the left side, but the right side is kind of becoming how I mentioned toward Farmington we get, where you start just seeing big open fields. Now, I don't know if that's because they'll never develop this area or if houses will eventually be developed there. Sasquatch Crossing. Let me check where I'm at on the map right now. Coming up on one main street called Gentile Street. I think I'm going to get ready to end the stream in a second. Let me check out of curiosity how much battery I've used. Alright, so now I'm down to 31%. That's good to know for future reference. 2.5 hours took up 70% of battery time, which is solid for the phone. Very pleased with that. Now this was on a cool day. I don't know how it would be on a hot summer day with my previous phone. Not referring to live streaming, but just recording or taking pictures in general. If it was 90 to 100 degrees, there would be a safety mechanism to shut down the camera app if it felt the phone was too hot. But yes, so I know, I didn't have dedicated live viewers, but if anyone decided to flip to the end of the video and saw parts of this, thanks for tuning in to my first live stream in Layton, Utah. This isn't a city where I would anticipate doing more live streams unless I was specifically at a park or a reservoir and just showing that exclusive area. But like I said, hopefully this week I get to show a little bit of Ogden and Salt Lake City and be out here. Look at, we've got some horse riders in the background. So yes, if you ended up enjoying this video, feel free to hit the like button, leave us a comment, and if you're not a subscriber to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We recently crossed 250 subscribers on the channel, and it's growing at a pretty decent rate, so very nice to see the engagement back and forth with the viewers in the comment section. I always love hearing that, and a lot of times the viewers teach me a few new things that I can check out in the future. And then also, I believe this is my 69th video on the channel. Building a nice little archive collection for people to watch in the future. And boy, man, now I can really tell my arm is getting tired. So that is a good time to end it. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you next time.